The year is 2919. The Renaissance fair of that time period is the Millennium Fair, celebrating the cultures and activities of the early 2000s. What events, activities, booths, and attire are present? A booth where you can get mugged by someone wearing a Burberry cap and Kappa tracksuit. I found a roadmanting in it. Instead of jousting, there will probably be basketball or football being played in the center arena. Probably people playing basketball wearing football padding. Given the historical accuracy I see at current Ren fairs, and the greatest sportsman of that era, Al Bundy, who once scored 4 touchdowns in a single game, a truly unprecedented feat. Foods shaped to look like they came from animals or plants. That's disgusting. Dude, they used to eat the blood too. Like they wanted to see the juices in a Santac. How people did it back then is beyond me. Hilariously inaccurate and anachronistic things, just like modern Ren fairs. People will be wearing Google Glass-style personal computers, but riding around in cars that look like the Ford Model T. People will be constantly saying, "What's up?" and "totally," in contexts that don't make sense. Everyone is wearing a suit jacket and necktie. Everyone is playing some weird combination of soccer and American football, because they didn't realize that they were supposed to be 2 different sports. Everyone is eating hamburgers and cheeseburger, instead of a king and queen walking around. There's a president and a prime minister and they're married to each other. Signs are written in emoji and GT. Everyone is playing some weird combination of soccer and American football, because they didn't realize that they were supposed to be 2 different sports. I imagine that it would work like soccer but be full contact and played in pads. If it's as historically accurate as most Ren fairs. Blacksmithing, retro-style hover boots from the early 2100s, and everyone's challenging each other to knife fights. What would be the modern equivalent of using ye instead of the and sticking e's at the end of every word? I'm guessing instead of ye olde shop, you'd get dat ol sho button p. Everything in late 90s L33T speak. The selfie booth, where they have an ancient iPhone ready to take any early 21st century photo. They have a pile of Big Johnson t-shirts, jean shorts and Crocs you can dress up in to make the picture authentic. Can't be a proper 2000s fair without a Scholastic book fair. I was gonna say job fair, you know, before AI took over and enslaved us in the droid war of 2029. I picture something from Futurama, when Fry goes to the moon and sees their interpretation of the moon landing. I think there'd be rotary phones with tiny screens with apps on them this year. Big, greasy cheeseburgers deep-fried in soda. There would be stuff to lambast our culture too, like pollution demonstrations, authentic cow slaughterings, and primitive surgical reenactments. Men would wear suits and ties, a fashion statement that was 800 years dead. And the music would be Elvis, gangster rap, and some fiddle songs meant to showcase rural living. We're whalers on the moon, we carry a harpoon. 4 different video game systems playing Chrono Trigger. This is my kind of Millennium Fair. The man at the entrance is dressed like a pilgrim, just like Rem Fair today. Gets thou jiggy with it? Quote, he yells at passers-by. A guy in a huge Bonza Buddy costume. Man, I miss Bonza Buddy. Sounds like Stockholm Syndrome. I'd see a therapist if I were you, smiley face. You know how Ren fairs have demonstrations of weaponry, activities, etc. Demos would include arguing on the internet, taking a good selfie, picture of your food, firing semi-automatic weapons, playing primitive video games while shouting slurs over mic, and memes. The primitive games would also end up still being VR because the people of that time don't know how to play games in any way but VR. You have to use your hand. That's a baby's toy. Tide Pod Gumball Machine. Isn't that just Target though? What's with the Pikachu dance? There is a 20-meter replica of the Twin Towers with flames coming out of the windows. The flames are powered by propane. Of course. and the propane salesman is trying to sell his services to the president of the Millennium Pleasure Fair before Thatherton Fuels gets there first. Asterisk THATHERTON. Judging by our current Renaissance Fair historical accuracy, I assume boys will have Mad Max villain hairstyle, Templar robes, Colt Navy ray gun, Henry VIII style crotch piece and flip-flops. Girls will have conical wizard hats with moon and stars on it, pink thorb with steampunk bra on the top of it, jester shoes and a parrot on the shoulder. Probably Chewbacca crossbow blaster as well on the back. So, in short, normal hipster stuff. Shit, I walk around like this every day. Brick cell phone fights, a deep frying booth, where you can bring any food and or other friable objects to be baptized the old way. Millennium Fair is just a facade. It's acutely the start of an epic quest across time for the fate of the future and present. Good luck, Chrono. There'd be one of those massive indoor chilled areas, like that indoor ski slope in Dubai, so that people can experience what winter was like. Wow, this got both real and depressing very quick. Girls walking around in platform sandals and Converse crop tops, wearing low-rise jeans with their thongs on display with butterfly clips in her hair, while their boyfriends are wearing Junker jeans, or Nike with the wallet chains on the end, stringy or braided hair. The games are based on old cartoons or TV shows like Courage the Cowardly Dog, Ren and Stimpy. Papa John's Pizza is catering, along with McDonald's and Burger King. The main prize is to win a beeper or pager. The music playing is non-stop Nirvana, Wu-Tang, and Green Day. This all seems way too cohesive. Let's not forget that Renaissance fairs today have zero fucks given about the actual time period, and they'll happily mash something from 1300 together with stuff from 1800. So on that note, I think that OP's festival would also include stuff like disco balls, 80s hair, and women cosplaying as well, still speaking in a phony, faux Shakespearean version of YOLO Oldie English. Even a mere 100 years from now, a Ren Fair of the early 2000s would have people with early brick mobile phone replicas and some having the iPhone 29. Also clothes. Some would wear 1970s fashion and others stuff from the year 2050. Well, since it's the Millennium Fair, you'll run into a princess, travel through time to the Middle Ages, team up with an inventor and a frog to save a queen, and by extension, the princess, travel back to the present, be put on trial, have all the verdicts be not guilty, be sent to be executed, stage a prison escape, beat up a dragon tank, escape with the princess and inventor, and travel to the future. Also, you learn that a giant space parasite destroyed the planet in 1999 AD. Did I miss anything? Lots of denim, and people wearing suits and looking like they are on the runway at the Oscars or Emmys. Everybody carrying guns and Japanese anime-looking people in the mix. Tons of really realistic-looking temporary tattoos. The food court would have pizza, hamburgers, turkey dinners, and lots of dishes featuring stuff that would seem to be meat or fish but is actually some sort of non-animal product simulation. Games would probably be something resembling poker, historical board games like Monopoly, and video games on actual screens in 2D. You could stand in line for a photo with the Queen, the President, or Michael Jackson. Chrono Trigger cosplay. Is there any chance of fighting a robot for silver points? Acid wash jeans and chain wallets. Every girl looks like Britney Spears from the early 2000s and it takes place in an old mall. It has all the popular clothes from the early 2000s. Aeropostales, Hollister, Abercrombie & Fitch, and a small booth for Hot Topic. Events at this old-school convention include playing on Nintendo DS Lites, PSPs, and GameCubes while also exploring free mobile games. For entertainment, there's a section of just old school Macs that constantly play YouTube videos. For food, we have the best of old school New York and Chicago style pizza. And please vote on which style you like better for your chance to win a cardboard cutout of Billy Ray Cyrus. Admission is $2,000 intergalactic bronze credits. You're having the fair in a mall is genius. You beat up a robot named Gato. Brittany's breakdown booth. Haute couture time period hairstylings. The Big Lebowski area, with people playing bowling, drinking White Russians, and discussing stuff. Rugs. Lots of rugs and carpet. Millennium. How to find me a blonde chick with a funky pendant.